Tod Fletcher questions the government's version of events, and he joins me now from Berkeley, California. Tod, good to speak with you. The report from the 9/11 Commission is viewed by just about everyone as the definitive report on what happened on 9/11. Why don't you accept the findings of that report?
Well, there are several reasons. One is that there were considerable conflicts of interest in the people who were controlling the commission. Another reason is that much of the narrative of the commission report really is fictional. There are many lies in the report of two kinds, either of omission, that is evidence that is very relevant to the case but which was not discussed by the commission, or actual distortion of evidence by the report. The conflict of interest issue is a very important one. The executive director, Philip Zelikow, was essentially a very close associate of President Bush and of Condoleezza Rice. During the development of the report, he was in complete control. He wrote a draft outline of the report before any of the investigation began, and then he rewrote the results of the investigation. So there are many reasons why we have very serious questions about the report.
Sure. You know what? I've got a number of follow-ups, but our Al Jazeera online community has asked some questions that I think serve as a proper and appropriate follow-up. So let me pose one of those to you. This comes from Todd Dwyer from Facebook, and Todd writes, why is it so hard, I think this is particularly appropriate, why is it so hard to believe a group of extremists with the goal of carrying out attacks on U.S. soil would try to do something like this? How do you respond to that, Todd?
I don't find that hard to believe at all. I think that's true. But I think a different group of extremists carried out the attack than the official story wants us to believe. I believe, based on now 10 years of research and very careful.
Sure.
The American Secret Service powers behind the scenes that used 9/11, the attacks of 9/11, were planned as a pretext to launch the global war that Colin Powell has talked about on your station today, the endless war that's killed hundreds of thousands of people in the Middle East and Southwest Asia. I believe that extremists wanted to take control of American foreign policy for particular purposes that would not have been popular with the population at large, and that they required what they called a new Pearl Harbor. This is the term from the PNAC, the Project for a New American Century. These are many of these people in 2000 issued a call for great building up of American military power. They said it would be very helpful if there were a new Pearl Harbor, and then these same people went into the Bush administration, many of them into the Pentagon, and 6 months later, we've got a new Pearl Harbor. It's something that needs to be looked at very carefully by the public at large.
Well, Todd, let me pose one more question from our Al Jazeera online community, this through YouTube, and the question is, the conspiracy industry is a multi-billion-dollar operation, and more than a question, I want you to respond to this comment. Trying to convince a conspiracy theorist there is no conspiracy is no different than trying to convince a religious person that there is no God. What's your response to that?
My response, I don't know what you mean, what the questioner means by the billion-dollar conspiracy industry, but I think that that the attacks of 9/11 were clearly the result of a conspiracy. The official account claims that the conspirators were Arabs in Al-Qaeda working for the Osama bin Laden. And we feel that there are different conspirators, but the official account is a conspiracy theory, and it's very true that the promulgation of the official conspiracy theory may indeed be a billion-dollar project annually or whatever.
Gotcha. But Todd, let me do this then. Let me do this. Let me pose a question from the comment. Do you really believe what you and your partner are writing, or have you just found a way to tap into a niche that is generating millions of dollars?
By my partner, I presume you mean Professor David Ray Griffin, is that correct? Well,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't fully understand the question, and would you care to clarify the question?
Right,
I'd be happy to answer it.
Well, the question is, do you really believe what you're writing, or have you just found a way to make money? I think that is at the heart of what this comment from YouTube is getting
I
at.
very sincerely believe what I'm writing. I do believe what Professor David Ray Griffin has written about in his books, with whom I have assisted him in producing those books. I do believe that what we're saying is true, and I haven't been paid a penny for it, and I don't think he's making millions of dollars doing it. This is a small minority view. You know, nobody's making a lot of money that I'm aware of, and certainly I'm not.
Okay, and a small minority view that I hope you believe has been given a fair hearing today. Tod, I appreciate your time. Thank you, Tod. Tod Fletcher.